Connecting. Okay. Okay. All right. Just watch the Facebook feed for us, I guess. Okay. Let's try that again. That's not how I want that. Am I good? Okay. All right. Well, let's hope and pray that we're good. We got people watching? That's good. Okay, well, if you're watching our random Facebook and YouTube stream here at Trinity, excited today, I've invited Kirsten Pello. I got it right.
Yes.
Kirsten Pello to come and speak to us. We were trying to set this up for a Sunday, but Kirsten is very busy, and so we thought we would pre-record this, and then we'll show parts of this on Sunday morning. But Kirsten is currently in the process of being a missionary for 6 months?
Yes.
6 months.
Yep.
She's going to go out, and so I wanted a chance to talk to her about that and share that with you guys at Trinity. So we'll let her tell her part of the story. So I guess my first things first here, Kirsten.
Okay.
So the church family knows who you are. Would you just give us like the brief biography, who you are, where you grew up, stuff you did? Because I'm sure we have people who might even know you from school or something like that.
Okay.
Go. Who are you?
Okay, yeah. So my name is Kirsten Pello. I grew up in Toledo. I went to Toledo Christian till I think I was in kindergarten. Yeah. And then first grade, I moved out to Florida. My dad. Yes. Yeah. I moved to Florida.
You've been all over.
Yes, I have. I moved out to Florida. My dad was finding a new job, and we just weren't making enough money there, so we moved back. And ever since second grade, I've been in Genoa. Throughout middle school and high school, I was involved in sports. I was a gymnast for a long time, and I've always had a great relationship with God at a young age. So love that. When I was in high school, I did cross country, track, cheerleading. I ran Genoa Brave a little bit with some of my friends. So yeah, so the church I am at now, I go to Main Street. I've been there my whole life besides the time when I went to Florida. We found a church down there, and yeah, so I guess that's it.
Didn't realize, we were Main Street alumni
Yes.
together, which is a lot of fun. And you mentioned gymnastics. I think we've shared a little. Was that Kids World? Is that
Yep.
your?
So yeah, I went to Kids World when I was younger, and then I grew to Next Level, and then I was like, it's just too rough on my body. I'm just gonna be a coach. I'm just gonna chill, be a coach, and for like 5 years now, I've been a coach at Kids World, and I love it. And yeah, so.
And you are how old?
I just turned 19.
Just turned 19. So
Yep.
you graduated last
Yep,
May?
2020. Yep.
2020?
Yes.
You are the pandemic class.
I am the pandemic class. That was an interesting year. But
With the drive-in and the fireworks and
Yep,
all that,
yep.
right?
Yeah, it was
Hey,
nice. It was nice. I cried. I will say. I got emotional. The fireworks went off, and I was like, oh, my God, this is so sad. But it's whatever.
And you mentioned Main Street. You came up in the youth group.
Yep.
You were student leader there.
Yep, I was a student leader there for 2 years. I think my sophomore through junior, and then sadly, my youth pastor, he moved, so they kind of stopped doing it. And
Shout out to Brian out there if you're watching.
Brian Monafo, love you, miss you.
Were you in any other church? Like, did you go on any mission trips with them or do anything with them?
So Brian actually, he definitely pushed me to do a lot of things. I did go on I think it was a week and a half or 2 week, kind of a missionary trip. I don't know if you guys have heard of Huntington University in Indiana.
Well, once again, Main Street. That's the university I was supposed to go to.
Yes,
and never
yes,
did. Yeah.
yes. I talked to Marty about that too. So I went there, and so basically we traveled all throughout Indiana, and we went to just a bunch of different ministries, and that really like opened my perspective of, wow, I wanna be a missionary. And when I was younger, actually, I was 5, and I know it sounds crazy, but I promise you this is true. I was 5, and I was in my bed, and I was just praying before I went to bed, and I literally heard God speak to me, and he said, Kirsten, I want you to be a missionary. And I was like, as a 5-year-old, I had no idea what a missionary is. So I run to my parents, and I'm like, Mom, Dad, God just told me he wants me to be a missionary. What is that? And they were like freaking out. They're like, what? No way. How do you even know that word? And I'm like, God spoke to me. He told me he wants me to be a missionary. And ever since that, I've always had like that fire in my heart to be a missionary one day. So
very cool.
Yeah.
My grandma predicted I was going to be a preacher at like 3, so I won't even stand
really?
against you.
Wow.
Holy Spirit speaks, I
yes.
guess, you know.
Yes, sir.
So you graduated.
Yes.
You've done the youth group stuff and the high school stuff and all those kind of things, and now you're 19. If we can be honest, you probably have friends who are out there now. They're, even though it's a strange year, but they're starting college or pledging sororities or starting careers or picking where they're going to go. Yeah. And you're raising money to go to the ends of the earth, basically. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned the missionary thing when you were little, but what set that off? When everybody else is starting their college life or their adult life, and you say, no, I'm going to take a little break and go serve other people. What led to that?
Right. So for a long time, I thought I knew what I wanted to do. I mean, all of us do. We're always like, oh, I want to be a doctor or a nurse. And then, like, it was in January of this past year, I, like, really thought about it, and I got scared. I was just like, oh, my gosh, I have no idea what I want to do. And my friends, they're like, oh, I just accepted a BG to nursing or Toledo for forensic science. And I was just sitting there like, I have no idea. Like, I really didn't. So I prayed about it, and I talked to my uncle, and he's like, why don't you just do a gap year? Why don't you just really think what the Lord wants you to do and just pray about it? And I was like, you know what? You're right. I was like, you're right. I Googled gap year on the internet, and the first thing that popped up was the world race. And I was like, what's that? And I looked into it, and as soon as I opened up the web page, my heart just like was on fire for it. I was just like, I couldn't stop reading. I couldn't stop watching videos on YouTube. I had school the next morning. I was up till 5 o'clock in the morning, just like watching videos just of people, a day in a life of the world race. I was just so intrigued, and I was just like, wow, like, that is just so crazy. Like, I just prayed about, I'm just so nervous for, after you graduate high school, everyone's like, oh, what are you doing? What are you going to do for the rest of your life? Well, I have no idea, So
question every 18-year-old is ready to answer, right?
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I was just so nervous, but, God is just so good, and he put that on my heart, and people are like, they're like, oh, like, you're gonna have so much fun, like it's vacation time. But I don't think a lot of people realize, like, I'm not gonna be, on the beaches hanging out. I'm gonna be like in poverty, and I'm gonna be going on prayer walks and going through, what Jesus did when he was here. He wasn't having a blast, he was at the parties. He was in poverty and just loving on people and asking, will you accept me? Will you accept Christ? So I think it was just a lot of praying and realization for myself, and and just thinking about my future. And I know that can be scary when you're young and people are like, so what are you going to do the rest of your life, And I don't know. I love Jesus, so might as well.
We'll do this.
Right, yeah, right. Just for a little bit.
Well, so. And that is some good perspective, because like you said, you're feeling like I don't know where I belong or whatever. This gives you a chance to see, I mean, really parts of the world that other people wouldn't see.
Right.
And maybe a new appreciation for, I mean, how many people made that decision with no concept of the opportunities that they have that people that you're going to be working with, I mean, would only dream of,
Right.
you know? So in theory, if you do come back and make that decision, if nothing else, you'll have the perspective of
Right.
how blessed you are
Yeah.
and all that. So I do want to talk about World Race in case people aren't familiar. I watched one of the videos that you just mentioned, and I thought it was really neat because there was a part of me that we were talking. I was like, well, there is something to that college experience, being together with
Right.
people. And I thought this was a really neat way to do it because you will be with a group of people
Yes.
your age.
Yep.
You'll still have sort of that, you know, not necessarily college feel, but that dorm living kind of situation.
Oh, yeah.
But you'll also be going out and serving God, doing good work, helping people, and getting involved in communities. I like
Yes.
the idea that you're not just like popping in for a day these places.
Yeah.
You're kind of getting in the mix. So tell us about World Race, what you know, what you're expecting.
Okay.
Obviously, you got hooked up through the miracle of the internet.
Right. Yes.
But tell us about the organization and the actual trip. Give us the whole sort of general itinerary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
big question.
Yeah, no, it's all right. The World Race. So when I first applied, I was applying for a 9-month missionary trip. I was supposed to go to Guatemala, Costa Rica, Eswatini, which is in Africa, and then Thailand. All the people that I'm going with live in like California, Texas, Florida. Like, I don't think anybody that I know personally is from Ohio. I'm the only person. So community is big, especially when you get there, because you have no idea who these people you're going with. And then, you know, just like
Other crazy church kids.
other
right?
crazy church rats that grew up in the church, they all just come together and unite. So I love that because I can't wait to, and it's not like where I live now, like there's not people that are my age that are really like devoted like to Christ, because I know there is. It's just there's going to be a huge group of us that want to do the same thing and have the same passion and the same love for God, and I just can't wait to meet all of them and be a part of that.
Do you know how many people are in your pod or?
Yes. So my new route now, they changed it because of COVID. So I leave January 4th. I arrive at Adventures in Missions. I'm doing a little training camp there with my team to get to know everybody and like the culture that we're about to expect. And then January 7th, we leave for Nicaragua. And we'll be there for 3 months, and we hope to be able to go to Cambodia for the next 3 months, but we're not sure because right now they're not allowing U.S. citizens to go through that country right now. So, so I guess, we're really big on community. I mean, we've been, Zooming and FaceTiming and, trying to get to know each other best as we can through like this time. But did I miss anything?
Well, how many people are in the?
Oh,
you're fine.
40. There's 40. Yes, but we will be in like groups of like 5 or 6. So I'll be in a group of like 5 or 6 girls, and we'll kind of like so we'll be at like a different ministry for like a couple weeks, and then we try to find a new ministry. So I'll probably be with like a group of 6 girls that are in my same route. And then maybe if we go to a different ministry, we'll like switch it up. So I kind of like that. So you kind of get to like know everybody. But it's going to be a little harder because of COVID. So
that's just the story of the year, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And you had said you got COVID.
I did have COVID. Did test positive, so that was fun.
You've been through it
Yep.
all.
I have. So I don't know. I'm super stoked to meet all these people.
We were talking beforehand. Kirsten's been trying to work, put in extra hours and things like that. And of course, in the middle of that, you had to do the 2-week lockdown.
Oh yeah, it was the weirdest thing too. I think it was working, and I was just like, I just didn't feel good, and I was like, oh no. It was like a headache, and it was right in the front of my head, and then the next day I was like, you know what, I got to call off just in case, because I work with a lot of like older people, you know, and
Right.
you know
In a
we
big
have
warehouse.
in a huge warehouse. I mean, there's over like 1,000 of us easily. And then I told them, I was like, hey, listen, I don't feel well, and they were like, you need to go get tested. And I was like, okay, I don't have it. I'm probably just got like, you know, like a little virus. And then I remember I went up to Monroe, Michigan to go get the rapid testing done. So I grabbed a coffee from Tim Hortons and I'm sipping it, and I was like, why does this taste like water? I was
I can't
like,
taste it.
and then yeah, that was kind of the teller. I was like, oh shoot, I have COVID. So there goes my 2 weeks of overtime.
Yeah.
But
few
yeah.
few hiccups along the way
Right, yeah.
to the world race.
Right.
So you're starting in Nicaragua.
Yes.
And then based on like the rest of the world, trying to figure out what the next 3 to 6 months look like.
Right.
You might end up. Did you say Cambodia?
Cambodia
Okay.
was supposed to be our next one. So it was supposed to go Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Cambodia. I'm not sure about Costa Rica. My advisor, the one that I've been like talking to, he said that a lot of countries right now won't even let U.S. citizens cross their borders. But I actually have to go get my vaccine for the yellow fever, and I think I have to get like rabies shots, and like a bunch of people were texting the group chat like, oh my gosh, it hurt so bad, I had to get like 3 shots. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, so I guess we're just gonna keep praying and hoping that we can, you know, venture out more than Nicaragua. But if Nicaragua is our home for the next six months, I guess it is, and I'm okay with it. So.
And it's a straight shot. You leave January, you come back in June.
Yes,
'Kay.
June 24th is the day I arrive back. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what your typical day is going to look like, at least in Nicaragua? Do you have any expectation about the work you'll be doing?
Yeah, so we partner with a lot of different ministries. They try to, that's another thing I really love about the World Race is that, you know, you might have an individual, you kind of take a test before like you go, just so they know like who you are. And they said, I'm a nurturer, so like I love being around kids. I love kids. So they would probably put me in like a kids ministry, but then they're also gonna send me like something like totally like I wouldn't like do, you know what I mean? Or like get out of my comfort zone just to see the different types of ministries that are out there. I know right now the squad I was supposed to go on, they're going to Ecuador, and they are working with sex trafficking. They're gonna go talk to women. They pay their pimps, and they're gonna go sit down and talk to women and just pray over them and try to, you know, convert them back to, you know, not doing that.
Get them out of the lifestyle.
Get them out of that lifestyle. And they feel like they're so trapped because that's their only way of living. And it's not. And you know, over there, it's so heavily in that that trafficking that, you know, a lot of women just tend to go to that. So they're going to go and they're going to just pray to them. And
with existing ministries,
yes,
right? So
yep.
they have a way to
Yep.
get people out.
Yes. And then I think the ministry that we're starting off with, he's like kind of giving us little hints. I think we're going to work at like an orphanage as our first ministry, and I don't think we'll be there for long. I think we're only there for like a month. So, which I'm really excited about that because I get to see kids and hang out with them. And yeah, so kind of a day in the life, I guess. Monday through Friday will be like our ministry days. So we will wake up, you know, we'll have like devotional and have like a worship, you know, thing in the morning, and then we're off. We go to ministry. Usually ministries from like 9 to 5.
Like a job.
Like a job, right. Yeah. So then I'll get back and we'll kind of just all, you know, sit together and kind of talk about our day and kind of have like our own prayer time, and then we're kind of like free kind of during the night too. But we do like worship and we eat together, and apparently in Nicaragua, the community there is amazing, and a lot of the families, they'll feed us, and you know, they're very generous, and so happy that we're coming. Because the World Race has been partnering with all these different countries for so long, a lot of the towns that we go into, they just like expect us, and they're so excited, you know, to see us. So I'm excited to feel that like energy and that lovingness from a different country, because we're like foreigners going into this. So I think that's kind of cool to, you know, be like on this side, you know, instead of the United States. And a lot of people come traveling to us because we have a bunch of different, you know, things in here. And then we're going over to another country, and they're just coming in with like open arms, and I kind of like that.
I know in some of my history with mission trips and things like that, only short term for me, obviously, but we would partner with these groups, and that was always so interesting because, you know, we'd pop in for a week or something, but you had people who were building years of relationships with this community, and to see how that is. And so you obviously will have an opportunity greater than, you know, just like your week-long missionary to, like you said, maybe get to know some of these families or people or culture that you're connected to and really see how it's growing, you know, rather than just pop in and here's our project and we're done and we go home.
Right.
And I know as a pastor, I think that's pretty powerful because that, you know, you don't go in with this idea of like, oh, here we come to like sort of save the day.
Right.
Like you're going to have to kind of get in the muck with
Right.
them, you know?
Yeah.
And you'll have that opportunity, which I think is really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know one of the videos I watched, like they were doing like almost like little vacation Bible school kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is that what you're expecting with like the orphanage? Or
Yeah. So we'll like teach them songs, and it's gonna be cool because, but no, we get to, you know, worship with them and just, I don't know, kind of teach them about Christ the best we can. And I know people that I'm going with, they're very fluent in it. So I think that's going to be kind of cool to see them, you know, communicate and try to, for myself, try to learn their language more and, you know, really get into the culture. And that's another thing. I'm so excited to go see the like different culture that there is over there. Like,
have you been doing research about like food or anything?
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
oh yeah, and like I'm not
Is
a
there
picky
a Starbucks? No, I'm kidding. No.
There is McDonald's, so I mean might have to check that one out. But they eat a lot of beans and rice, and they
Right.
say that there was somebody I was talking to that went on a previous trip, and they said we literally ate beans and rice at every meal, breakfast, and it would be like breakfast, like it would just be beans and rice, and then lunch, beans and rice and chicken, and then sometimes for dinner it'd be beans, rice, and chicken, or maybe beef. You know, so I don't know. It's definitely gonna be a lot different, but I'm here for it. And
well, and you mentioned specifically you're going into impoverished areas and
Right.
things like that. So we're used to, you know, you pop over to the grocery store, you can not only can you have beans and rice, you can have like 16 different versions of beans and rice.
yeah, different seasonings. You know,
Yeah, right.
so
You're gonna be popped into situations like this is what's for dinner, and that's
what's for dinner,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You can't just say, "Oh, Mom, make me something else." You know.
Well,
So I guess start off with my parents. When I that night when I found the world race, I ran up to my dad. I was like, I call him JP sometimes. His initials are JP. I'll be like, JP, I know what I'm gonna do. Like, he's like, what? And I told him, and he kind of looked at me, and he's like, Kirsten, you're putting your trust into a organization that we don't even know.
Google search, top line.
Google Church, or it's Google, right, the internet. And he was very like skeptical. I mean, as a parent, I was just like, I'm gonna be gone for 9 months. Peace out. I'm gonna
Right.
be going all over the world. And my mom, she kind of had like the same reaction. I mean, they were excited for me because I think they saw, you know, the passion that I had, but they were just like,
You do hear horror stories. I mean,
oh, of course, yeah, no. And then I think the next night it was just a guy talking about how the world race wasn't for him, and he was just telling me that he was saying like a bunch of crazy stories, and I was just like, oh my gosh, maybe this isn't for me. And then I don't know, like God just put that on my heart. It just like I felt like that energy of like, no, Kirsten, you're doing this. Like I'm letting you go there. Like you are
Right.
going.
Something the Holy Spirit stirred up. Like you need to
Yes.
be a part of this uncomfortable.
Yes,
Yeah.
like you need to experience that. And my siblings, they're super sad about it, but they understand, you know. But yeah, now my parents they're super excited. They pray for me all the time, and so do my siblings. And they'll just, I don't know, it's kind of weird because I feel like I'm like famous in my house. I'll just be sitting there, and my little brother would just come and squeeze me, and he's like, I'm gonna miss you, Kirsten. And it's so sad. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I don't know if I'm gonna have reception to FaceTime them or call
Right.
them. So there could be like weeks at a time where I don't talk to anybody. And that's another scary thing too when you're there, is that I'm gonna be in poverty. I'm not gonna be like out in the towns where there is like reception. I'm gonna be literally where there's like huts and there's no reception. And so they tell you to like get all these apps before you go so you can like call and stuff. But it's not like I'm going to just be on my phone the whole time and be talking to people. It's just like I'm literally going to be living their lifestyle. And I'm excited for that. But yeah, my grandparents are upset too. And they're just like, I'm not letting you go. And I was like, you can't hold me back, Mama and Papa. I'm sorry. I gotta go. So
Paul got thrown into prison. I can do do beans and rice.
That's what I'm saying.
Friends? They all think you're crazy? No.
So my two really close friends, they thought at first, they're like, oh, she's not gonna carry this out, probably, because it was just crazy idea. Nobody from like, I don't know, I've never really heard of anybody going on this big like extraordinary like missionary trip like ever. Like I really didn't. Like I was so like clueless to the whole thing, and so they were just kind of like, And then as time's getting closer, my friend Marina, she texted me and she's like, Kirsten, like I'm gonna cry like when you leave. Like I'm going to legitimately cry in your arms. Like I'm gonna miss you so much, and it's so sad, but at the same time, like I'm gonna be back. Like I'm gonna take like I'm just taking my step out of the United States for a little bit and just seeing what the Lord wants me to open my eyes to, and then I'm gonna come back. But they're excited. They're like, I can't wait for you to tell me the stories that you have and that what you witnessed there. Like it's just So
I mean, even elder statesmen of the church, people who have been in church for a long time, when we think about missions, our commandment is, Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, to the ends of the earth. Yep. And sometimes we're really comfortable with Jerusalem, maybe even Judea.
Right.
That to the ends of the earth thing. So, I mean, you're living that. That's a testimony. So I think the prayer would be that you'll bring something powerful back with that.
Oh, for sure.
What's the prep work been like? You mentioned
I didn't get to work, and my last deadline, I put like $1,000 of my own money into it because I wasn't gonna make it. So I was out for I was down for a little bit in my checking account, and I was like, oh shoot, I really don't know what I'm about to do here. So I went back to work maybe like 2 weeks ago when we get paid bi-weekly, and I literally only had like I had like $100 and something in my checking account, and that isn't for my savings, but I wanted to keep my savings for like, they tell you to bring your own money to like the trip or whatever. So someone broke into my car and stole like $200 because I was gonna pay that for my shot, because my shot's like $400, so I was gonna put it anyways. Long story short, someone went in my car, stole my money, so I couldn't go yesterday, so I had to reschedule for next week. But yeah, I have to get vaccinations for the shot, and that's only one shot, and they recommend like 3, and each shot's like $400.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I think that's gonna be my Christmas gift, maybe, Mom and Dad.
Oh, it's what everyone wants for Christmas.
Right.
A needle in the arm.
Right. So,
great. Has there been other prep that, like you mentioned you're Zooming with people? Like,
yes.
Are they already starting to train you into what this looks like?
Yeah. So we did. So I'm about to do. It's called a shakedown. Somebody from the Home Depot actually explained it to me. I just bought all my gear. I have my backpack, my like hiking backpack. I have all my like packing cubes and my like the past like 2 weeks just to get used to it. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, no one sleeps in sleeping bags that long. So I just like, I need to learn because I'm about to be sleeping in it for the next 6 months. So I'm just gonna pack everything I can, all my clothes. But you can't take a lot of clothes with you. I mean, they tell you to bring like 5, 6 t-shirts, maybe 2, 3 shorts, and a dress that goes to your ankles, and you're kind of set. So I got to pack really light, which is hard for me because I love clothes and I'm going to want to match everything with everything. But I think that's another thing too with like culture over there. Everything is just so modest, and no one really cares like what you wear over there, like the United States, everyone's like, oh, look at her outfit. Like, I don't think it's like that over there. You know what I mean? Especially when you're doing ministry work, that's not the focus. The focus is just like, your relationship with God and building like your Holy Spirit and loving on people so they can have a relationship with God. And it's not a fashion show. All my parents are like, oh, you're not going to have a fashion show when you're over there. And I'm like, I know. So
it's stripping away a lot of the cultural consumerism.
Yes.
And
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. they're starting to train you up. You're
Yes.
planning. You're in it.
Yeah.
I guess. Oh, and you're working all the time trying to pay for it.
Right.
So that I think leads to the big question, which for me is, okay, how do we help? How do we support you? I know you have some goals that we were talking about beforehand.
Yeah.
Can you give us a rundown? Someone's watching this at home. Someone watching this on Sunday morning, and they say, "Oh, I want to help that girl." What can we do?
Number one would just be prayers. And if you don't have it like on your heart, like if for like donations, like that doesn't even whatever. God will provide, and I know that. But just prayers. I'm super nervous, but I think the reason why I'm so nervous is just because I'm so excited and it's something so new and so out there. And yeah, just prayer. The squad is supposed to be they're going to Ecuador, and they're about to be in some heavy stuff with, the sex trafficking. And I mean, anything can happen overseas, So also I'd just say prayers would be number one for sure. Just for safety and protection, and also maybe for us to really just dive in deep and to like not have. I think what's really important that we're gonna learn is that like in the United States we have our phones, technology all the time. Like this is gonna strip us away from that to where we can actually focus and really consume our lives into living and walking and breathing like Jesus did when he was here. So I would just say, perspective for me to like bring home like a good perspective on life and really bring back some new like things I'll learn over there, you know what I mean? So that so for my goals right now, so my total goal is $10,500 is my goal that I have to make. We were talking, and he had a friend that went on the world race, and she still fundraised after she left. They recommend that you get that money in, and I'm at, what did I say, like 6,400 right now, because I'm selling, I'm actually selling these T-shirts. It says "Do Everything in Love," and on the back it says World Race, and has the countries that we were supposed to go to, of course, and it says 2020 on it, so that's because I was supposed to leave in 2020. Yes, yeah. Love that. So with that, the estimate is around 6,400. So I'm blown away that God got me here, because I was thinking I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna make this. There's no way. And I'm already here, and I'm just like, wow, like he is just so good, and he's such a good father that he provided for me, and he knows like what I'm gonna be doing, and I've just been putting so much faith into him, and yeah, I'm just so blessed. And so if it is on your heart that you want to donate towards me, that would be amazing, but if not, just prayers. So.
And you mentioned you're going one way or the other. You're leaving.
Yes, I'm leaving,
but
no matter what.
You don't want to have to, in the middle of that work, try to be calling home and finish the financial race, I guess, if you want to call it
right.
that. You want to be able to focus on what you're doing. So
right.
You're looking at about $4,000
$4,000
in the near future.
Yeah. So I'm working a lot. I'm trying, but there is money. Like I have to have like my own money to go. Because they feed us there at the host homes, but on the weekends we kind of have the weekends off. We can go and like take tours, or we go on prayer walks. We'll be through like the city part, and if I wanted to go get a coffee or something like that, that's why they tell you to bring your own money. A lot of people get like tattoos. We can take like surf lessons. Like it can get extraordinary. And
you can turn it into something it's not.
Yeah, but right. So, but that's not like it. They just tell you to bring some money for yourself. But
and is the best way to contribute to you then the link that you shared with me, the direct world race?
Yeah. So I do have like Venmo and PayPal, but what I do with that is I basically just transfer it over to my checking account, and then I just put it into my world race account. So I do have a web page on the world race. If you just type in on Google Kirsten Pello world race, it should pop up. It'll show you my goal right now. I haven't updated it. I haven't put the money that I got for the shirts and my jewelry. in there yet. So I mean the price might be low. I think it's halfway right now. So yeah, and then I when I'm gone, if you want to, see what I'm doing, I am going to be, taking videos and pictures and be posting that on my social media. I wanted to get a vlogging camera, but I don't even know how to work like any of that, and I'm not trying to like figure that out before I go and leave in like the next 3 weeks. So um, I'll be posting on my social medias, and when I do get time, I do have a couple blogs on there that I wrote, just kind of my journey on the world race so far, even though I haven't even started it. And I did talk about music. Music was a different blog that I did. I wasn't too long ago. I did like a 30-day like innocent music challenge for myself, and it just really helped me. So if you ever get bored, I guess you can go read it if you'd like. But yeah, so when I'm gone too, I'd like to write some more blogs. But yeah, the world race. If you just type in Kirsten Pello World Race, you can kind of look me up there. So.
And we'll post all those and share them and things like that. And my hope, sincerely, is that we as Trinity, all of my friends watching, that we would support Kirsten and maybe take this journey, and that maybe some point, 2-3 months when you're in the middle of it, maybe, send us a video, let us know how you're doing, that kind of thing. I hope that we can be that kind of supportive to you. So I think it's really cool what you're doing, and yeah, I hope you get there. I hope this is a very enriching experience. Obviously, you're going to go do good work in the name of the Lord, and that's awesome. But I think, so often we do missionary work, and we think all the people we're going to help.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the coolest things about missionary work is the way that God says, oh, you think you're saving them. No. You're saving yourself.
Yeah.
Because it does give us that more Jesus-centric view of the world. It's not so much me when we're out serving other people.
Yes.
And that's what Jesus called us to do, serve others. So.
Yes.
All right. Anything else for the good of the order you want to tell the folks before we head out and let you go back to your crazy couple weeks before you leave?
Well, hope you guys have a good holiday. And thank you so much. If I don't get to say thank you for, praying for me and my squad, or if you do decide to donate, I don't think you realize just putting in a little bit is going to help me, and it's going to get me one step closer to my goal. And I'm thankful for you having me here and having me kind of share my story. This is the first church that has, helped me out. So I am so grateful and appreciative towards all of you. And yeah, so thank you so much for having me here, I guess.
All right. Let me say a prayer for you here, okay? Great God, we're so blessed to hear Kirsten's story and the message you placed on her heart. It sounds like it goes back just so many years to when she was just 5. And so we are thankful, Lord, that she's found a way to live into that call you've placed on her heart, while so many other people her age are off doing other things and good things, trying to find themselves, trying to find a career. But you have been placed at the center of her life and her heart, and so she's going off to try to find better ways to serve you. So we do ask, Lord, for the squads that are out working already, for her squad that will meet up here soon, for all the work that the World Race is doing and the communities that they serve. We just ask you right now, by your Holy Spirit, pour out blessings upon them. Just be fertilizing the soil right now for young, hungry missionaries who are going to come in, wanting to just connect people to you and do good work for you. We think specifically of Kirsten and know her goals, her heart, as she goes forward. We pray, Lord, that right now any hurdles in front of her, any boundaries that are in her way, that you would be breaking them down, whether that's emotional, whether that's mental, whether it's financial, Lord. Just kick those doors down so that she can get to the place that she needs to be. She's given her heart to you, and we ask, Lord, that she is blessed because of that, and she will be a blessing to others because of what you've called her to do. So we give thanks for her.